Welcome to our information video series to stop the AM radio towers proposed for Point Roberts, Washington. These 5 towers will impact more than 20,000 residents of Tsawwassen, BC, Canada. In this video, we're presenting Radio Towers 101.
Okay, so Radio Towers 101, why are we where we are? I'm going to tell you a little bit about a background on KRPI, the radio station, the site location of the towers, a visibility simulation, what towers we feel that you will be able to see from Tsawwassen, the broadcasting signal of the radio station, blanketing electronic interference, just going to touch on it a little bit. So BBC Broadcasting, KRPI, is a USA shell company, and they're doing business as Sher-E-Punjab in Canada. And they've submitted a proposal to relocate their existing Ferndale radio towers to Point Roberts, which is 1,100 feet from the border. They coined themselves the #1 South Asians radio news station. They have a very large following in Surrey and Delta. And this is a slide from a screenshot of their website. Very active in the community, very strong following. These are the existing towers in Ferndale. They're not very ominous looking at all, and the reason being is because these ones have guy wires. The towers that will be built across the border are much more meatier. They don't have the guy wires. The parcel of land that they have purchased is 10 acres at the corner of Mackenzie and Tyee. So that is the southwest corner. So as soon as you cross the border, that first intersection, the southwest corner, is a beautiful forested property, will be clear-cut, 5 of those 10 acres. Now the site location that we're displaying here has changed. This was a year ago, so they have changed it. In fact, I think they've changed it a couple of times. So what we have done is gone through different parts of Point Roberts and did kind of an illustration of where these towers will be visible and how they will look. So this is from the southeast tower right behind the letter carrier. And this is a representation to our best estimate of how that tower will appear. This is from the southeast tower when you're facing north on Tyee. And it'll be far more apparent when the deciduous trees have their winter views, when the leaves drop. This is 600 feet from the northeast tower. And this is Nielsen's Electric, 500 feet from the northeast tower. So these are towers that we feel will also be visible. Some of them will be visible from Tsawwassen or the border. Now, KRPI have had to file an application with the FCC, the USA Federal Communications Commission, and there was lots of paperwork. So we found a couple of gems here. So this is one document that they filed, and they write that the proposed KRPI transmitter site is suitable for tower construction and is located within the community of Point Roberts with a census population of 1,300. Read down to the next one. Point Roberts is not located within any urbanized area. So to support that, they have to submit some illustrations and photos. So this is one illustration. This brown mass here, I think, is called Canada. And if we zoom in, at the very top there, you can't read it very well, but it does say Ladner is the next closest town, located 7.2 miles away. They further support that it's in a very rural area with this photograph. So here is Mackenzie and Tyee and the 5 towers. And it looks very, very remote. But let's Google Earth that. 1,100 feet, there's about 23,000 people. This is a highly unusual situation to have these towers this close to a densely populated city or town. So KRPI purchased the radio station in Ferndale. It was a turnkey operation, and it was originally a Christian radio station. And they purchased it in 1994, and at that time, they were broadcasting at 10,000 watts, 24 hours, 7 days a week. In 2004, they applied with success to increase their signal from 10,000 watts to 50,000 watts during the daytime. That caused a lot of problems for Ferndale, Washington, where the towers are located. And the residents of Ferndale were very upset, and they complained for years about blanketing electronic interference. Because of the location of the towers and their population, they're about half of what Tawasin is, but that we should have the same result. So in 2005, they held a meeting at their public library, and they provided many, many comments and complaints of what's called blanketing interference. So what I want to do for you right now is just have you experience what is blanketing interference, because we've talked a lot about that, and we've discovered that if you actually experience it, you'll know what we're talking about. So I'm just going to turn on the radio here, and this is KRPI. And I'm just going to talk over a few slides. So blanketing interference is basically when you're talking on your landline or your cell phone, your computer speakers, baby monitors, hearing aids, your television, you could possibly hear this in the background. So here's some of the complaints from a pastor of a church in Ferndale. The signal is strong enough to interrupt services, funerals, or weddings, because at moments of silence, people start giggling over the very inappropriate timing of a commercial or song on the radio. From a mother, the monitor picks up the station and I have to listen to the constant noise. I finally had to just stop using the monitor. Our intercom system at the school is affected, and every school-wide announcement has the radio station in the background. And it goes on and on. It comes in through my computer. It's all over the AM dial. And I used to say, if you like Bill Good, say goodbye to Bill. Well, we've all said goodbye to Bill. But say goodbye to your favorite radio station, because KRPI will be all over your AM dial. I had to turn it off my front doorbell as the station was coming through it. RF interference on telephone. Filters do not take care of this problem. So loud you cannot hear a dial tone. The TV in my sewing room is unusable due to the voice and music that is available. My TV is surrounded with ugly foil wrap at the suggestion of the radio station. So they told her to put foil wrap around her TV to try to deflect the interference. It didn't work. It didn't improve. On my home phone, it was impossible to hear anyone who called me. And we could not hear on either side of my phone connection. Friends would say, turn off your radio or TV. And I would say, it's not my radio or TV. It was coming through the telephone. Plays in the background on every TV program. There's an intermittent hum 24 hours a day. And it goes on and on and on. Very slow internet connections. If you work from your home or if you rely on the internet, it's going to be disrupted, or your signal's going to suffer. So for those such as myself, my livelihood is my business that I operate from my home. It's very much a serious concern. So I'll just shut this off now for you. If these towers go up, folks, we believe you're not going to have that luxury or option. You're not going to be able to do that. So, KRP broadcasting strength. So as I mentioned, in Ferndale, Washington, they're operating at 50,000 watts daytime, 10,000 watts evening. For Point Roberts, they're proposing 50,000 watts, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So if we take this contour map that they had to provide to the FCC, there's two different contours here. This is the proposed daytime contour, and this is the proposed evening contour. I'll explain in a second what exactly that means. What we did was superimpose that map over Tawasin. So you can see that this nighttime contour goes all the way down to the TFN lands. And what this means is, at night, this area is going to be subject to blanketing interference. So at nighttime, it's basically all of Tawasin. In the daytime, it's more condensed, but it still covers a major part of the population area. By our calculations, the ratio of individuals living within these two critical interference contours violates the Industry Canada minimum standards by a factor of 30 times. So 30 times what they would allow. If these towers were being built on this side of Canada, Industry Canada would never approve these towers because they exceed what is allowed by 30 times.
We can stop this if we have enough money for Whatcom County Court. So we are introducing our final Push for the Win, the $500 challenge to 150 individual businesses, organizations, individual and family donors. We only need 150 of you to donate $500 so that we can meet our legal fund need of $75,000. You can donate now with PayPal by visiting our website, notowers.webs.com, and going to the home page, you will see the donate button on the top right corner. If you prefer to donate by check, we welcome American or Canadian checks mailed to either one of the addresses on your screen. We would love you to visit us on Facebook at No Radio Towers Tawasin. Just be sure to like us and follow us to ensure you receive important updates. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our other informational videos on YouTube to stop the towers.